Hi, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm looking at the Havilland Tiger Moth in 1/72 scale from Airfix. Now, if you enjoy the show, then you can support the channel for free by subscribing. Hit the bell to be notified of all my new content, and anything you like, then please give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below because every like counts. Let's make a start. This kit was first released in 2013. It was later released with different markings in 2014 and 2018. In 2014, it was also released as a gift set with some paints, a brush, and glue, and it's in this form it was re-released in 2023. Another box with new markings is scheduled for release later this year. So here we have the box of the De Havilland Tiger Moth in 1/72 scale from Airfix. Product code Alpha 68223. It includes 4 pots of paint, a brush, a tube of polystyrene cement, and that comes in the markings of Golf Alpha Charlie Delta Charlie, seen in an artwork by Adam Tooby, presumably taking off from Headcorn. It's an aircraft of the Tiger Club, as we can see here. On this long side, we have a very brief description of the Tiger Moth itself. And to note, it is 102mm long and 124mm wide. When completed, there are 42 pieces in the kit. It's skill level 1, so anyone really should be able to pick this up and, with a bit of patience, make a really nice kit of it. There's a reminder here of the existence of the Airfix Club to check them out. Notice there's no flying hours token on this. This was because this was from a promotional offer at Lidl, the supermarket, in the summer, and they don't have, generally speaking, flying hours on those packets. On the back is the layout of the paints and the decals that are supplied, and a reminder of the paints. That's number 11 silver, 19 red, 33 black, and 78, which is the interior green used for the inside of the cockpit. Okay, let's have a look and see what we get inside the box. So inside the box there's a bag with the plastic in it. There's a set of instructions. There's a decal sheet, a pack including the 4 paints and the glue, and the Humboldt number 2 brush. Frame A, or they call it Sprue A on this release, contains the fuselage halves, the tail plane, a lot of the interior. This is a radiator for the top, or fuel tank, sorry, for the top seats, tail wheel, and the interplane struts, which we'll talk about later on. Frame B includes the pilots, the lower wing, undercarriage legs, another seat, main wheels, instrument panels, and so on. And then frame C is the upper wing, engine cover, the fin and rudder, more the cabin struts that go. These cabin struts might be undercarriage parts actually. The exhaust, a few more struts, and the propellers, of course. Then frame D is the transparent parts, which consist of these very, very, very small little windows that sit in front of each of the 2 cabins. If we have a look at the plastic a bit more closely, we can see there's no panel lines to speak of because it was largely fabric covered. Anyway, the side doors, little doors are there, and there's a hatch at the back here. You can see there's some flow marks in that, which are surprising for a piece of this size, perhaps. Some of the smaller parts, like the tail skid here, or the tail wheel, it's an optional which you do, I look a little fragile to take off the frame. And you'll notice things like the ejection points here into the parts are right on the leading edges there, so they'll need to be cleaned up very carefully. The interior of the cockpit area is, it's got some ribs and some frames on there that you can probably highlight. You might be able to see them, especially if you do the doors open, which is an option. And you do notice from time to time bits of flash. Now here, the majority of the flash is on this piece in the middle. Now, when you don't actually use that piece, what happens is this is to keep the struts together when you put them between the wings. Then once they're set, you can just nip this cross piece off, so just leaving the struts. Here you'll see some flash here on the strut itself, however. It's a nice piece of design. You will need a pair of very small nippers, or I would hesitate to say use a craft knife, because you'll be putting stress on these joins if you try and cut those off with a craft knife later. So you really do need a nice fine pair of modelling nippers to take that off later on. Otherwise, it's not bad for 1/72. It'll do. It will do. This is the lower wing. You can see it's actually quite nicely moulded, stretched over the framing of the wings there. It's not too bad. The instrument panel is here. It has the compass in the middle of it. The wheels have got the embossed DH de Havilland logo in the middle, which is nice. And there's a set of doors here. I think these are the four doors or rear doors. I can't remember which way around it is. Let's have a look. So what they're suggesting is you can actually cut out the doors. Excuse me. They're suggesting you can cut out the doors here. So the front and the rear doors here, and then have them sort of hanging open, because there's a couple of pins on the back to sort of make them sit out slightly from the side of the aircraft when it's open. I think cutting out doors to this level of accuracy might be beyond a skill level 1 builder, to be honest. I think a lot of people are going to ignore that. I'll try and do it on one of my kits, I'm sure, but otherwise I think that's quite a lot to ask. Seat mouldings are okay. Again, the injection feeds here go straight onto these edges, and those are going to be a challenge to clean up, but they'll be fine. And here, the upper wing, you can see these, I don't know if they're slats on the top of a Tiger Moth wing. This here is part of the fuel tank system. This is the engine cover here. The exhaust is okay. Rudder's okay. The rest of the mountings here, the propeller is here. That's relatively clean, and that would be relatively nice to do because they've actually injected the plastic right at the boss and let it expand rather than trying to inject it along the actual blades of the prop. Here, I think these are the cabin struts between the fuselage and the upper wing, and you can see there's a bit of flash going on here as well around there. And these molds have been heavily used to supply Lidl for this offer, so yeah, there's going to be some issues with flash around the parts. Just need to clean it up. And again, the injection feeds straight into the front edges of the wings. Something I'm not loving in this kit are the pilot figures here. I won't be using them in my build. You can see there's an undershot right in the middle of his chest there, which is a bit awful. These are figures very obviously from the Second World War, by the fact they're flying with Mae Wests on, and the design of the parachutes as well. I didn't wear a Mae West when I flew in one, so I don't think the majority do, unless of course you're flying over water, where it's probably mandatory. But these are very much World War II pilots, which is fine if you're painting this as a World War II Tiger Moth or pre-war Tiger Moth in its pilot instruction role, then fantastic. But that hole in the middle of his chest is a bit of a pain. The decal sheet, as usual, printed by Cartograph. Colours look nice. Very, very few decals to worry about. There's just the instrument panels, the Tiger Club logos, the little symbols for the propeller blades, the steps on the side at the bottom wing, and the registration number registration letters. These go on the side, these go underneath the wing. Looking very closely in, you can see the decals are very, very sharply printed indeed. If I can bring in my 0.5mm standard pencil lead here, you can see the lines on the Tiger Cub logo, very, very fine, and actually quite nice depiction of the instrument panel as well. The instruction leaflet is very much the standard for gift sets and starter sets in the Airfix range, with these big warnings over here right at the front. And on most kits you don't see this, it's hidden away a bit better. You have a history of the aircraft here, including mentions of the Tiger Club, specifications as well, and then of course it's in other languages: French, German, Spanish and Swedish. Assembly instructions and warnings about contents are much larger, mainly because this includes polystyrene, cement and things like that, so you have to be a bit more careful about the things that are being included in the set. Here are the translation of all of the icons, of course, which are quite important. Advice for supervising adults as well, and some safety rules. Now, a lot of these don't appear in the regular kits, but it is because these are aimed at younger people and new people to the hobby. The instructions are fairly straightforward. There's a lot of things that are kind of puzzling for a skill level 1 kit, like chopping out chunks of the rear fuselage here, cutting out these doors, and then having a 1mm drills to drill these holes. That's where the extra door, the doors, open position doors, slot into those. That's a little surprising for a level 1 kit, but there we go. The everything is fairly well drawn out. The difference here is that the bits that you've previously done are always coloured in red, so things you've done in previous steps are coloured in red. It helps sort of show where they all sit together as well. The back of the fuselage here we've cut off, and we've put the anti-spin strakes on here. Could have been a better idea to have those just as separate optional parts rather than getting people to cut the whole of this off. And again, it's a skill level 1 set. I'm not sure about that. What is quite good actually are the struts. As I've mentioned before, the struts go in, and then once the wings are set, then you can just take off the cross pieces in the middle, which is a nice thing, and it reminds you to do that here. Just chop them off. Again, these are going to be quite small. You will need some nippers rather than using a knife or anything bigger than that. You will need some proper small nippers to get into there and not do any damage. And of course, you're probably going to want to clean it up slightly. So if you're going to sand those, you're going to need to do it really, really gently. This aircraft comes fitted with a skid rather than a tail wheel, because most of the time it's flying from grass, so the skid is fine. Okay, that's the instruction sheet. There it is. It looks simple enough, but maybe with some of the options a bit more than the skill level 1 it suggests. Anyway, I'll have a better look when I make it. If you've enjoyed the show, please do remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified of all my new content. And remember, anything you like, please give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.